of USA in alphabetical order. Today I have for you a pub quiz with 55 questions. Very easy, very educational. You can close your eyes and let's go. Subtopic number 1: map, rivers and regions. North Alabama's broad valley looks less like cotton country and more like a river corridor built for farms, dams and industry. Which river gives that valley its name? This one is ABCD. So, Tennessee River, Cumberland River, Coosa River, or Big River. Tennessee River, Cumberland River, Coosa River, or Big River. And it is Tennessee River. The Tennessee River crosses northern Alabama and anchors the Tennessee Valley, one of the state's major geographic regions. If you know, if you knew, you are awesome, but you are awesome just for watching. Question 2. On a clear day in the Talladega Mountains, Alabama's roofline rises above the rest of the state. Name that highest point. And it's Lookout Mountain, Monte Sano, Shia Mountain, or Oak Mountain, like Dr. Oak from Pokemon. Lookout Mountain, Monte Sano, Shia Mountain, or Oak Mountain. And the right answer is Shia Mountain. Shia Mountain is Alabama's highest point and sits in Shia State Park in the Talladega Mountains. Talladega, it's better Talladega probably. Next one. Two rivers meet near Montgomery and then carry the state's name southwest toward Mobile Bay. Which river begins at that junction? So which river begins at that junction with Mobile Bay? It's Tombigbee River, Keaba River, Chattahoochee River, or Alabama River. So it's Tombigbee River, Keaba River, or Chattahoochee River, or Alabama River. And it is the easiest one. It's the Alabama River. The Coosa and Tallapoosa rivers join near Montgomery to form the Alabama River. A ribbon of dark prairie soil shaped plantation culture, political power, and later civil rights struggle across central Alabama. Name that region. What's the name region? A ribbon of dark prairie soil, political power, and later a single famous inlet where rivers, ship channels, and seafood towns all converge. Which bay is that gateway? It's Pensacola, Shokevachi Bay. So Pensacola Bay, Choctawhatchee Bay, Apalachicola Bay, or Mobile Bay. Pensacola Bay, Choctawhatchee Bay, Apalachicola Bay, or Mobile Bay. Some of these names, they are like, I get it, they are like Indian ones. And the right answer is Mobile Bay. Mobile Bay is Alabama's main Gulf Coast inlet and the setting for the port of Mobile. If you knew, you knew. If you are from Alabama, probably this is only for Alabamans probably. And maybe even Alabamans don't know that. Subtopic 2. Statehood and capitals. Alabama entered the Union with lawmakers gathering in a northern boom town famous today for rockets, named that first state capital city. So first state capital city, how was it called? And today it's known for rockets. And the name is 3, 2, 1. Huntsville. Huntsville served as Alabama's first state capital during the statehood period before the capital moved south. After the capital shifted from frontier towns and Tuscaloosa, state leaders settled on a city beside the Alabama River, which city became the permanent capital. It was A. Montgomery, B. Wetumpka, C. Demopolis, or D. Marion. Montgomery, Wetumpka, Demopolis, or Marion. And the right answer is Montgomery. Montgomery was elected as Alabama's permanent state capital in the mid-1840s. A former capital near the Alabama and Cahaba rivers faded into ghost town legend after floods, politics, and decline. Name it. So, a former capital near the Alabama and Cahaba rivers, and it was called Cahaba after the river. Cahaba, also spelled Cahauba, served as an early Alabama capital and later became a noted ghost town. Question 9. Delegates gathered in Montgomery and launched a breakaway national government before its capital moved to Richmond. Which government was formed there? A. Republic of Texas, B. Republic of West Florida, C. Confederate States of America, D. United States of America. So which government was moved to Richmond? Republic of Texas, Republic of West Florida, Confederate States of America, United States of America, and it's Confederate States of America. The Confederate States of America was organized in Montgomery before its capital moved to Richmond, Virginia. The state's name reaches back to a native people whose homeland lay in the southeast, which people gave Alabama its name. This one is very easy, so 3, 2, 1. And they are, of course, the Alabama people. The state names comes from the Alabama people, a native group historically associated with western Alabama and eastern Mississippi. That was easy. Now we have question 11. Guess the number. So, guess the number. Alabama entered the Union as the 22nd state. In what year did that statehood happen? So guess the number. If you are close, 5 years, you did well. If 2 years, you did very well. And if you are exact, you are awesome. And write me down in the comments how well you guessed. So say the year. 3, 2, 1, and it was in 1819. Alabama became a state on December 14th, 1819. Subtopic 3. Indigenous and early Alabama. At Mount Will, flat-topped earthworks once framed a major ceremonial and political center. Which archaeological culture built that world? A. Adena culture. B. Mississippian culture. C. Coles Creek culture. Or D. Hopewell culture. So Adena, Mississippian, Coles Creek, or Hopewell. And the Moundville was Mississippian culture. Moundville was one of the major centers of Mississippian culture in what is now Alabama. Number 13. Below Tuscaloosa, Moundville's mounds stand near a river whose name sounds like a frontier epic. Name the river. So what's the name of a river next to Moundville Mounds and sounds like frontier epic? So if you are from the region, welcome Americans, and you probably know that it's Black Warrior River. Moundville Archaeological Park is located near the Black Warrior River south of Tuscaloosa. Question 14. Long before New Orleans owned the carnival spotlight, an Alabama Gulf settlement hosted the future United States' oldest Mardi Gras tradition. Which city was it? So, in which city was the oldest Mardi Gras tradition? Before the carnival. It was Mobile. Mobile's Mardi Gras tradition is widely described as the first in what became the United States. Treaty records often say Creek, but a broader name for those peoples still appears across Alabama history and tribal identity. Name it. So, treaty records often say Creek. So how were Creek? Many people, even in Europe, know Creek. But how actually is that tribe usually referred to in Alabama? And it's Muskogee. Muskogee is the broader name commonly associated with the peoples often called Creek in supremacy and frontier power. Which side tells that story? Is it A. Fort Duluth, Fort Jackson, Fort Morgan, Fort Mims, or Fort Mitchell? So is it Fort Jackson, Fort Morgan, Fort Mims, or Fort Mitchell? And it's Fort Duluth, Fort Jackson. Fort Duluth, Fort Jackson Park near Wetumpka preserves overlapping French colonial and early US history. Subtopic 4. Civil rights landmarks. A seamless refusal on a city bus turned one arrest into a year-long test of organized non-violent pressure. Name the protest it sparked. So what was the name of the protest? We know that. I have many jokes on that, but I'm not going to use them in this video. But if you want something less relaxing and more funny, you can check my other videos. So it's Montgomery bus boycott. Rosa Parks' arrest helped launch the Montgomery bus boycott, a major early campaign of the modern civil rights movement. Before dawn, thousands of boycott leaflets moved through Montgomery because one professor and organizer knew speed mattered, which woman led that Women's Political Council effort. It was Aurelia Browder, or Virginia Durr, or Septima Clark, or Jo Ann Robinson. Aurelia Browder, Virginia Durr, Septima Clark, or Jo Ann Robinson. And it was Jo Ann Robinson. Jo Ann Robinson and the Women's Political Council helped organize and publicize the Montgomery bus boycott. Selma's Voting Rights March met televised violence on a bridge that became a national symbol. Name the bridge. And it was Edmund Pettus Bridge. Edmund Pettus Bridge. The Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma became famous after Bloody Sunday during the voting rights campaign. Question 20. Birmingham's civil rights struggle is marked by a church bombing that killed 4 girls and shocked the country. Which church was attacked? A. 16th Street Baptist Church, B. Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, C. Bethel Baptist Church, or D. Brown Chapel AMA Church. And it was 16th Street Baptist Church. The 16th Street Baptist Church bombing in Birmingham became one of the most infamous acts of racial terror in the civil rights era. Okay. The Selma to Montgomery campaign helped push Congress toward a federal law aimed at protecting ballot access. Name the law. This one is well known, even in Czechia we know that it's Voting Rights Act. The Selma campaign helped build momentum for the Voting Rights Act, which targeted barriers to black voter registration and participation. And you know, in America now, they're trying to spin it that black people don't know how to get IDs, which for me, for for example, as European and person that organizes elections for 15 years, like voting without ID is the most strange thing that I can imagine. I always, when I look at America, if you would like these cultural shifts between Europe, America, this is one of the strangest one. You know, if that happened, that somebody's voting without ID in Czechia, nobody would believe the elections. Let's move on. Guess the number. So guess the number. The Montgomery bus boycott stretched from Rosa Parks' arrest to a court-backed victory. How many days did the boycott last? So guess the number of days. So if you are if you are 20 days in margin, you are great. If 5, you are awesome. And if you are right, well, then you are some seventh. And it's 381 days. The Montgomery bus boycott lasted 381 days and became a model for later civil rights campaigns. It's up to Big 5. War, aviation, and space. In Macon County, a segregated flight program produced pilots who fought enemies abroad and racism at home. Which group emerged from the training? How was that named? We already said it sometimes there. And it was Tuskegee Airmen. The Tuskegee Airmen trained in Alabama and became the first African-American military pilots in U.S. service. Before cadets advanced to a bigger wartime aircraft, their Tuskegee journey began at a primary training field. Name that field. It was A. Craig Field, B. Moton Field, C. Tuskegee Army Airfield, or D. Maxwell Field. So, where did Tuskegee trained? Craig Field, Moton Field, Tuskegee Army Airfield, or Maxwell Field? And it was Moton Field. Moton Field was the primary flight training site for the Tuskegee Airmen. Huntsville Space reputation rests on NASA Center tied to rocket propulsion, Skylab, and later Deep Space Hardware. Which center is it? How is called the Alabama's Huntsville Skylab Center? Stennis Space Center, Johnson Space Center, Kennedy Space Center, or Marshall Space Flight Center? Stennis Space Center, Johnson Space Center, Kennedy Space Center, or Marshall Space Flight Center? And it's Marshall Space Flight Center. NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville has played major roles in launch vehicles, propulsion, and space systems. Question number 26. The Moon program's towering launch vehicle is part of Huntsville's rocket legacy and museum skyline. Name that rocket. Moon's program's towering launch vehicle. So how is that rocket named? And it's Saturn V. The Saturn V rocket, closely tied to Marshall's work, powered Apollo missions toward the moon. Question number 27. Mobile Bay preserves a World War II battleship whose name doubles as a floating state emblem. Which ship anchors the Memorial Park? Is it USS North Carolina, USS Texas, USS Alabama, or USS Missouri? USS North Carolina, USS Texas, USS Alabama, or USS Missouri. And it's the USS Alabama is the centerpiece of Battleship Memorial Park in Mobile Bay. Subtopic 6. Mood, music, food, and folklife. The studio players, nicknamed the Swampers, gave Muscle Shoals Records their sly, rolling groove. Name the band behind that nickname. The Swampers. The Fame Gang, the Wrecking Crew, Booker T and the MGs, or Muscle Shoals Rhythm Section. So the Fame Gang, the Wrecking Crew, Booker T and the MGs, or Muscle Shoals Rhythm Section. And it's the Muscle Shoals Rhythm Section. The Muscle Shoals Rhythm Section, nicknamed the Swampers, backed many major recordings from the Shoals. We are in the half. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to comment if you want other US states, or if I should abandon this idea, or if you want background music, if you want not whispering but soft speaking. Give me ideas, what you want. I am here to entertain you. I'm here to educate you. It is your channel, not mine. So, and if you really like the channel and really want to help me create, consider becoming a member. It helps a lot. Okay. A producer took sole control of fame and turned a small Alabama town's sound into a soul and pop landmark. Which producer was it? It was Tom Dowd, B. Jerry Wexler, C. Rick Hall, or D. Chips Moman. Tom Dowd, Jerry Wexler, C. Rick Hall, or D. Chips Moman. And it was Rick Hall. Rick Hall took sole ownership of fame in 1960 and helped make Muscle Shoals a major recording center. Holiday pies, roadside stands, and orchards all point to Alabama's official state nut. Name it. What's official state nut? Well, they are nothing. Oh, what's the official state nut in Alabama? It's pecan. The pecan is Alabama's official state nut and a familiar crop and flavor across the state. A smoky sausage brand points back to a South Alabama county whose name out of staters often trip over. Which country gives its name? It's Conecuh County, Monroe County, Escambia County, and Covington County. So sausage, smoky sausage, where they get smoky sausages in Conecuh County, Monroe County, Escambia County, or Covington County. And it's Conecuh County. Conecuh County gives its name to Conecuh sausage, one of Alabama's best-known food brands. Mobile carnival parades are organized by masked, invitation-based associations with their own rituals and balls. What are these groups called? It's not KKK. So mobile carnival parades. It's benevolent orders, mystic societies, carnival guilds, or parade creeps. Benevolent orders, mystic societies, carnival guilds, or parade creeps. And it's mystic societies. Mobile's Mardi Gras culture is shaped by mystic societies which organize parades, balls, and traditions. Now guess the number. Fame Studios began in Florence before muscle shoals became a byword for soul records. In what year was Fame founded? Nobody's going to know this, but you can guess. 3, 2, 1. And it was in 1959. So if you are a soul enthusiast, Fame was founded in 1959 by Rick Hall, Billy Sherrill, and Tom Stafford before its muscle shoals era made the studio famous. So the big 7: writers, schools, and innovators. A Monroeville courtroom became literally holy ground after a novel about Scout Atticus and Maycomb, which Alabama author wrote it. So who wrote a novel about Scout Atticus and Maycomb? And it was Harper Lee. Harper Lee from Monroeville wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, one of Alabama's most famous literary works, one of the most famous American literary works. Because we know it even in Europe. The Whistle Stop Cafe turned an Alabama rail town memory into a best-selling novel and a beloved film. Which author wrote the novel? So who wrote The Whistle Stop Cafe? Whistle. Blow my whistle, baby. Okay. It was Fannie Flagg. Fannie Flagg on Flagg Channel. Fannie Flagg wrote Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe, inspired by Alabama settings and memories. Tuskegee Institute became a national symbol of black higher education under an educator who emphasized self-help and vocational training. Who led that rise? It was W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, Carter G. Woodson, or Mary McLeod Bethune. V.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, Carter G. Woodson, or Mary McLeod Bethune. And it was B. Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington led the Tuskegee Institute and became one of the best-known black educators in his era. A scientist as Tuskegee turned soil exhaustion and crop rotation into practical research, famous far beyond peanuts. Name him. So who? A scientist from Tuskegee turned soil exhaustion and crop rotation into practical research, and his name was George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver thought and researched at Tuskegee, promoting crop rotation and new uses for crops such as peanuts and sweet potatoes. A water pump at Ivy Green marks the breakthrough that connected Helen Keller to language. Which Alabama city preserves that birthplace? What water pump at Ivy Green marks the breakthrough that connected Helen Keller? Do you know Helen Keller? to language. Which Alabama city preserves that birthplace? It was A. Florence, B. Anniston, C. Tuscumbia, or Decatur, Tuscumbia, yeah. And it's Tuscumbia. Helen Keller's birthplace, Ivy Green, is preserved in Tuscumbia, Alabama. Helen Keller, do you think she faked it? Press X to doubt. Post X if you doubt. Okay. Subtopic 8. Sports and rivalries. Each fall, Alabama football passion condense into a rivalry name borrowed from Birmingham's industrial identity. Name the rivalry. So what they are fighting? How is it called? It's borrowed from industrial identity, and it's Iron Bowl. The Iron Bowl is the famous football rivalry between the University of Alabama and Auburn University. Some serious fights. At the Bryant-Denny Stadium, crimson waves and elephant calls point to a team known by which nickname? At the Bryant-Denny Stadium, crimson waves and elephant calls point to a team known by which nickname? A. Crimson Tide, B. Commodores, C. Bulldogs, or D. Tigers. And it's a Crimson Tide. The University of Alabama's athletic teams are known as the Crimson Tide. Across the rivalry line, orange and blue fans answer the tide with a plainsman tradition and fierce team name. Named team. A. Auburn War Eagles, C. Auburn Plainsmen, C. Auburn Eagles, or D. Auburn Tigers. And they are Auburn Tigers. Auburn University's athletic teams are known as the Tigers. Question 42. The roar east of Birmingham comes from one of NASCAR's biggest and fastest ovals. Which Alabama track is it? Talladega Superspeedway, Barber Motorsports Park, Mobile International Speedway, or Montgomery Motor Speedway. And it's Talladega Superspeedway. Talladega Superspeedway is Alabama's best known NASCAR track and one of the sport's largest ovals. Before Atlanta and baseball immortality, a mobile-born slugger became one of the game's great home run legends. Name him. So who was the mobile-born slugger? Slugger. Isn't that some slur? Hopefully not. Became one of the game's great home run legends, and it was Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron was born in Mobile and became one of Major League Baseball's greatest home run hitters. Question 44. Guess the number. Alabama and Auburn met in football long before the Iron Bowl became a statewide ritual. In what year was the first meeting? What year did they first fight? And it was in 3, 2, 1 in 1893. Okay. Industry, architecture, agriculture, and trade. Birmingham seemed to rise almost overnight from iron, gold, limestone, and ambition. which nickname captured the boomtown magic and was Magic City. Birmingham earned the nickname the Magic City because of its rapid industrial growth after its founding. Birmingham's steel story depended on a rare nearby trio of raw materials named that trio. We already said that. So it was coal, limestone and clay, coal, iron ore and limestone, iron ore, marble and timber, iron ore, coal and bauxite. And it's coal, iron ore and limestone. Steel, coal, forest products and container cargo moved through Alabama's chief Gulf Gateway. Which seaport handles that traffic? We already said it in the quiz, so how well did you listen? It was at the start, and it's the main port of Mobile. Perfect. The port of Mobile is Alabama's major seaport and a key link between inland industry and Gulf trade. Wiregrass City built a giant legume festival and calls itself the peanut capital of the world. Name the city. And what's the peanut capital of the world? And it's apparently it's Dothan. Dothan is strongly associated with peanuts and hosts the National Peanut Festival. Modern auto manufacturing gave Alabama's capital a global assembly line, which plant anchors Montgomery's role in the state's auto industry. It's A. Toyota Motor Manufacturing Alabama, B. Hyundai Motor Manufacturing Alabama, C. Honda Manufacturing of Alabama, or D. Mercedes-Benz US International. And it's Hyundai. Hyundai Motor Manufacturing Alabama operates an assembly plant in Montgomery and helped expand the state's auto industry. And the last subtopic 10, symbols and state identity. So we're coming to the end. I'm getting a little bit sleepy too, as you can see. A flicker-like woodpecker gave Alabama soldiers a nickname and later became the official state bird. Name the bird. Flicker-like woodpecker. And it's yellowhammer. The yellowhammer, a name for the northern flicker, is Alabama's official state bird. Alabama's official flower is a glossy winter bloomer often seen in southern gardens. Which flower is it? Official flower, glossy winter bloomer, and it's camellia. Camellia. The camellia is Alabama's official state flower. The forested hills put a powerful native animal on Alabama's official mammal list. Name the animal. And it's black bear. Black bear. The black bear is Alabama's official state animal. On Alabama's coat of arms, a Latin motto turns state pride into a dare. What does Audemus Iura Nostra Defendere mean? Audemus Iura Nostra Defendere. It means the people rule themselves, or to the stars through difficulty, or we dare defend our rights, or D. Liberty and union forever. Audemus Iura Nostra Defendere. And it's of course, we dare defend our rights. It's very similar. Alabama's state motto, Demus jura nostra defendere is commonly translated as we dare defend our rights. Souvenir plates, road slogans, and old state branding put Alabama at the center of the South. Name that nickname. The center of the South, Alabama. It was called Heart of Dixie. Heart of Dixie is one of Alabama's best known nicknames and reflects the state's long association with the Deep South. And the last one is guess the number. Alabama's local map is divided into counties from the Tennessee Valley to the Gulf Coast. How many counties does the state have? So how many counties does Alabama state have? And it is, you can guess, it is, you know now, 67 in 67 counties. It's nice to end on this, isn't it? I managed to make not many jokes. I hope you enjoyed the quiz. It's very specific, if you want to do quiz about just a state that you don't know anything about, you just have to search various things, then use like many artificial intelligences to fact check it if it actually is true. But I cannot find a good quiz, about Alabama, and I have already prepared for other states, but if you want, let me know. Next one is Alaska, I think. And if you enjoyed the video, let me know. I want to know your opinions. If I should go faster, slower, if I should put music behind, if you like just the whispering, if you want some like triggers, we can do what you want. I'm here just to entertain you. Anyway, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.